Hello, hello. Welcome, Val. Woo!
Hello. Hi, Shawanna.
I am so excited that you were able to pause for the cause to come
hmm
to CEO chat. That's right, where we get to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of being a CEO. So
hmm
I know, and just looking at some of your stats, this is what you do full time,
hmm
right?
Yeah.
I don't know that I know anyone now. I know a lot of individuals, they make that as a part of their business to add a podcasting leg, or arm.
hmm
That's something that you do full time. I need to know that. I know you've been doing it for almost a decade or a solid decade at this point, right?
I've been doing the podcasting arm for about 2.5 years.
Okay, with the business, the whole interlude where you decided to go and take it to the scenes and make that your primary thing. You've been doing some work with that for a minute.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what out of all of the things that you could have been doing, what led you down that path? I know you like production and editing and all of that stuff, right? What made you go that route though?
Well, in college, I loved being on the radio. I was a college radio morning drive DJ, and our radio station was an album oriented rock AOR, that's it. And so what I was trying to do was be a voice there. And I was at a PWI, a private institution. So I didn't go to an HBCU. So I was always trying to interject blackness. I edited the Black History Month uh, spot. I would try to look for people of color that was in rock. At the
Mm,
time, it was Living Color, a few other artists that Lenny Kravitz. So I was always trying to push those artists instead of because I'm like, is there any people of color that does rock music? If we go back as far as Chuck Berry
mm-hmm.
and Little Richard, a lot of their style was copied by white artists, but the white artists were the ones that got the shine. My mom didn't like the fact that I wanted to do radio, and she said, "I don't see a lot of women in that profession. It seems too dudeish." That was her
Mm,
terminology, too dudeish. So I worked behind the scenes. I did a lot of editing, a lot of production, television. I worked as a master control operator. I taught high school and taught kids how to do this as well. And then when I moved to New York in 2001, I decided to try to really go after the filmmaking experience. And I've written a couple of scripts. I pitched one to MGM. There was a lot of things that I've done building up to the podcast. And when I started the company, and about 11 years ago in 2012 in Brooklyn, I was thinking, I want to do this full time. I want to do production, and podcasting was something I was thinking that'll bring me back to the first love of radio. Because
mm.
podcasting is just literally a simple. It's you kind of broadcasting in a pod, and you're telling people about what's important either to you, your business, or to the world in general. And in 2020, when I was forced to, like many of us were forced to pivot our businesses,
Yeah.
I decided podcasting is great, and it'll bring me back to the first love of broadcasting.
Now see, because you mentioned
hmm
first love, and I think about love because of course we have conversation and share spaces outside of CEO chat. I know when you're in love, you still go through things with that relationship. And in this
hmm
case, it's your business relationship because CEO chat is a place where we want to be, um, have a level of, transparency and to know because we know a lot of people, they get the EINs, they register with the state, but that does
hmm
not necessarily make you a business owner. It does not make you a chief executive officer
hmm
of a company. Deciding to do that and with saying that that's my love and I want to make that my bread and butter because of my love, because of me loving it. So why not?
hmm
There's nothing better. I know that I've discovered there's nothing better than being in a lane, in a vein of doing something that you love. And I often say, and the kicker is you get paid to do it. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So you decided to take something that you love and say, you know what? This is my main thing. This is my focus. It is what's
hmm
at the top for me. looking at that love though, because sometimes even when we are in love with that thing, we often run into some layers of frustration, layers of disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about saying, I decided to do this, I decided to make this my main thing out of everything I do, what were some of the obstacles that you ran into along the way saying, this is about to be my business, this is it right here? Help someone that might want to do that, that would be interested in doing that, when they realistically say, you do need to consider this.
Right. The great thing is that I had a great foundation from my church. My first interviews, my first thought process. In fact, a lot of my encouragement came from one of my good married friends. She did comedy, and we were doing that virtually, and she said, you should really focus in on doing a podcast. The idea of doing it for a monetary situation came from my producer, and me and him graduated from the same undergrad college. And so we were both broadcast journalism majors, and he actually worked in journalism for about 10 years. And I did journalism here and there, but not to the level of what he did. So he volunteered to be my writer. It was imperative for me to pair up with people to help me with my vision, because I had the vision of doing the podcast as early as me starting the business back in 2012 in Brooklyn. However, if you want to go in one direction, if you want to go far, go with other people. If you want to go, you can go by yourself, but if you want to go far, you get with other people. And what was great was that I opened up and found other uh, CEOs, people that have businesses with employees 5 and less, that were doing that fight of being seen. And I'm thinking, I could be the platform for you to be seen and heard. And I know who my audience is, and my audience is my core audience is my peeps, my friends and family that support what I do and know that I have a voice and they like listening to it. And so I want to give a voice to other CEOs, other creatives, other filmmakers, other screenwriters, because those are the lanes that I'm interested in. I'm going to always forever be interested in filmmaking. I'm always going to be forever interested in screenwriting. And for a woman CEO, I'm always going to be interested in to know, how are you making it? What grants or what loans are you getting to keep your business afloat? What what services are you offering, and are with that running congruent or run adjacent to what I'm doing as well? So yeah, that's that's the skinny of it. That's the short and skinny of
Yeah,
it,
so
I
that
guess.
means along the way, we think we're very grateful for family who support us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oftentimes, even of course our church families, because I love Jesus. I'm a woman of faith. Um,
Yeah.
it's knowing though then to say, okay, it's great to have your church following. It's great to have the immediate and extended family to follow and to listen. But what was that like when you said, I'm about to do this as a business? Now I have to
Mhm.
then pick up the phone and make phone calls. Was it primarily due to the you right? I mean, there's no more yellow pages. So it was then you went on this mad research, or was most of your initial being a back then at some point we all were new at something,
Mhm.
starting out saying, okay, most of my stuff, because of the things that I've done, my track record, people were just beginning to do what referrals, and you were lucky enough to then run across someone in business to say, hey, I want to share these things with you to help you uh, navigate the learning curve. How was that for you? Or did you really have to say, I got to do a lot of this legwork. I've got to sketch this stuff out. I've got to make these phone calls and hope I get the right number.
What helped me was joining a business network to introduce me to other people that were pretty much in the same lane as myself. And then to also join my local Chamber of Commerce and to get reacclimated with the businesses in and around the Chicagoland area, because that's where I'm at. When I was in New York, I made so many connections, and a lot of things that I did for my clients there wasn't transferable to me being in Chicago. I had to physically be in New York to, shoot a commercial or to shoot or do photography for a client. And so I had to think about, what did I do as a freelance photographer or a freelance videographer or an editor? What did I do to attract that client? And a lot of times it was opening my mouth and talking to my friends who are business minded to say, Valerie, I know this person, or this is someone, here's a referral. And then, of course, with joining a business network, that's a myriad of, you know, people that you can reach out to. Some of the first sponsors for the podcast came from the network, and that was phenomenal. One came from me doing freelance work as a virtual host. Like, you put yourself out there and you never know where that next connection is going to happen. And then treat people right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be friendly, smile. Business cards are digital now. You do a QR code.
Yes.
You talk with people, and that's kind of my advice to anyone
Yeah. They
out
not only
there.
have, look, the
Yeah.
QR codes, they now have where you just tap your phone.
You tap your phone, right?
You just tap your phone and stuff is digitally uploaded to your phone. You just syncing stuff.
Right.
I definitely get that with part of the work that I get to do. And that's where even me wanting to pause for the cost to have the conversations with CEOs, understanding the importance of whether you're corporately or small business, the be seen, be heard, and create more visibility in your business is still key. Because if people don't know you, they don't know you. They don't know you. They don't know you. And oftentimes we have to be representatives to then say, hey, I've watched them, I've worked with them. And some of the best, I know for me personally, some of my best and my favorite clients are due to referrals. And so everything that you're saying is so, so, so true. Yeah, networks are incredible. They are amazing. But it's like, what is that? Your network net worth, right? When you think about that, it's beyond, of course, we've heard is what the five closest people to you. It really depends on where your mind is and the conversations that you're having. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited to know that people want to support your vision. You just have to put it out there that's what the vision is for yourself. It changes my vision. It changes with, from month to month, week to week, year to year. But it's great I have a core, I don't want to say staff, but a core group of folks that literally advise me on what direction the podcast is going, what should we be doing. And, eventually I want to transition into filmmaking. And I still want to do the podcast and interview other filmmakers to say, hey, what challenges did you have trying to get this film done? Because I went through it too.
No, and what you just said, you said having a group of folks, what that is really knowing and having the right team, even if it's the right mentor, the right advice, like you said, the right advisor. It's those folks that have been in it a minute, and even having the people that are good researchers. They understand the trends. They understand what's coming and what's actually honestly on its way out. And if you're saying that this is your love, is saying, okay, this is still meaningful. I still believe it's a part of the purpose and the plan for me. Now, what can we do to tweak it to still make sure that whatever it is that you could be doing, right? You may not be a podcaster looking or listening at this today, but it could be whatever you're in, is to just make sure you're what you're doing, you are relevant, that you are giving the people what they need, that you're not just being seen, but you're being seen giving value. You're being seen doing what is needed and necessary in that area, in that field, that you're the person that honestly fills in the gap. That's why you do. It says write the vision and to make it plain. One thing that Val, you just said, it's about you knowing. You said depending on what's going on, yours change a little bit from year to year. Yeah, part of that is having a scope to say, yes, what's my 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan? What's my, actually, if we're going to be real honest, what is ultimately my exit plan? What is that exit strategy? I know a lot of people say, well, you just got started. No, you still need to know where you're going. Where are you going? Right? because for a number of the CEOs that I do get to have amazing conversations with, everybody's not a spring chicken. And for some folks, they've been in it a minute. And it's not, you have the few to say, well, no, I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. But then it's saying, okay, if I believe that I'm being led by God and it's all purpose driven, he could say, yeah, with what you do, Val, it's about your voice. But like you said once before, you've taught students, right? How about you get again to teach more students again to say, yes, I know what it is to be behind the mic. You like, do y'all see that mic she got? I was trying to have myself in place before it was our scheduled time. It just didn't quite work out. But here's another thing. Let me tell you, as CEOs, we have to make excuses, make necessary adjustments and not excuses, right? Because sometimes as CEOs, if you're thinking about doing that and stepping in cross that line, stepping on the line, in the line, over the line, you have really got to count up the cost, right? Because if you don't count up the cost, it can be costly. And it's like knowing what it is that you need, but then do it. For some of us, you do need to do it with your knees shaking because you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you got to put one foot in front of the other to see, because some people are just simply watching. I heard what you said, Val. You said it. You said it. You said people were there wanting to help you. They were wanting to help when they knew what it is that you were doing, what that you wanted to do. So some people are watching to say, well, I got to see if she's going to be consistent.
Yeah. And that's, people are watching from all angles. And my thing is that I feel God puts people in place to help you.
Yes.
Especially when you know exactly what the vision is. And definitely if you're working in your purpose, I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm working in my purpose.
And you said with that being said, yes, you record and you get to do all of this and you believe that you're walking in your purpose. Where is it where I call it because I know along the way, God give me what I call God winks. You know, he give me a God wink to let me know that you're doing all right. Okay. You're right where you're supposed to be right now. When was it recently? It could be in the last month, last 6 months, where you felt that God gave you a wink.
That's a good question. Let's see. Well, I was thinking about just shutting this down, the podcasting section of things. I was getting more, and I like to call them gigs, as a virtual host. I was doing photography was coming back for me because, you know, COVID had kind of calmed down. We're still kind of dealing with a little bit of it. However, I was thinking, God, if you want me to, you know, continue to do this, I need some kind of sign. And one of the signs I got was one of my friends who wanted to start her podcast, and I gave her some advice on how to get started. And she just shared with me how she was been following me for the past 2 years and was grateful that I started. And she said, I know I could start it because I, you know, we've walked in the same circles. We've done some things, you know, together, you know, with church and the like. So it's like, I know I can do it. And, you know, I was grateful when around that same time we booked another sponsor, and I was thinking, okay, Lord, I can continue, because faith, and that's one of my favorite scriptures, faith is evidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I hadn't seen a huge monetary return for some of the podcasting that I've done early on, but now I'm putting it out there, and God is making that plain to me, which is great. And it's imperative that we are very crystal clear of what our vision is, and God will allow the people to show up and literally show out and help you. And it's I love that all I have to do is ask for help and it shows up. And now I'm in the process of being one who shows up for people and teaching people how to find their voice. I've started this podcasting course and teaching other women, men, and others who would love to be in podcasting or to use podcasting as a way to help promote their business. These are the basic things that you need. You need more stuff. I got more courses, but that's where I'm at with that. And so I am very grateful that I didn't allow my fear to conquer my faith in my talent in doing podcasting.
That is wonderful. I love that because we talk about, yes, it being hard, but then you just spoke from your heart because it's the heart, but it's something that we love.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you don't love what you're doing, then you really should not be doing it. You really should not be doing it. If you're a CEO, you might want to consider positioning your business. Matter of fact, you should anyway. You should position it to sell it. Yeah, that's part of business, right?
Right.
And when I think about it, because you're in podcasting, someone that's listening may be considering, like I said, with an arm of their business, what is it that you can do to help them to suggest even growing? How about growing when you think about growing your platform, right? I heard you mention even the course and stuff, but just even growing that, because we could turn on the switch now today, have some cute graphics, right? Record some stuff, but then it's like, how can you help when you think about growing your business as a podcaster?
You pivot and you push and you market. If this is not an area that you're strong in, you bring someone in to help you with that. And I definitely have gone through that where I brought in a brand specialist to help with the look of the podcast. And I've helped others help them, figure out what should they be talking about. To me, coming up with the topics, coming up with the interviews and the like, that's like breathing. That's like second nature. The hiccups in my business has been the sales, the marketing, and then to do, things that are very, very business related. But I'm strengthening my arm and muscle and all of these things to the point now where I'll be able to hire people to do that. And I want to hire people that love accounting, that love marketing. They understand all that it takes to do social media marketing and the like, or direct one-on-one marketing with texting and emails. So that's something that is like, if it's like breathing to them, that they're the right person for.
Yeah, I'm a
the
big
lighthouse.
proponent of staffing your weaknesses, right?
Of course.
Yeah, everybody, I
Mhm.
mean, because you can't be everything, because then that means you're not the primary thing that you need to be, that allows you to show up. And when you
Right.
show up, you show out and shine.
Right.
Yeah, I'm big on all of that. I'm big on
Yeah.
all of that.
Who wants to be Shaka Khan every woman? That's
You know,
lonely.
you know what? Oh, that's what I didn't tell you guys. See, she also is an undercover comedian, right? So you not only get to hear her voice, but then she knows how to make you laugh. Yeah. And sometimes you heck, whether you're a CEO or not, you have to laugh to keep from crying, depending on how, life chooses to show up, and how we choose to take that and make that mess a message. And in this case, she can make her message something that goes across the airwaves, right? I'm excited that you paused to have a conversation with me, because it's important. And this is how we can know to, even when you think about your peers or people that are out there doing things, it's kind of say, how, do a check-in. It's really to do even a check-in with the CEO, because sometimes you're so busy and so in the grind, you're like, you know what, I did do that in the last 6 months. I actually did do that, right?
No,
Because
yeah.
it can get ahead, because sometimes you get the right phone call, stuff really can move really extremely fast.
It can
And
change on a
that's,
dime. It can
yeah,
change on a dime. Yeah.
yeah, it really can move that fast. And then you be like, oh, shoot is right. But then say, okay, Lord, right, yes, show me the people, right? Show me those people so that we can make this happen. I'm going
Right.
to figure it out after I get off the phone, right? Right.
Exactly.
Hey, you have
Exactly.
to make, what is it? A chief executive decision. I'm just saying. Uh,
Mhm.
hey, don't, the heavy is the crown, as you know. I say that. heavy is that crown when you choose to do that. But I don't want those of you who may be watching to then, being nervous and even being a little bit afraid. It's okay.
It is.
It is. It's truly okay. But
You
then
do
it's
it.
aligning yourself and being in a place to then say, show me who I need to be talking to, show me who I need to be researching. Matter of fact, there's a whole bunch of virtual mentors that people they watch what their virtual mentor, and the person have no idea that they watch them. They watch their style, their technique, and then the
Right.
hope is though that you then make it your own.
Right.
Not become a clone of someone, no matter what
No.
the field or industry is.
You want to be your own person. You want to have your own voice and be unique, because there are many, many voices. Last statistics that I looked up, there are over 900,000 new podcasts that come out every year. That's almost 1 million. So how do you make a difference in a space where it's crowded with 900,000 new podcasts every year? How do you do that? So
those numbers are those are big numbers. And when you think about the more that people are promoting and pushing for you too, hey, because of what you do, you should have a podcast, right? You should be streaming. Now, I am a believer in, again, I'll say it again, if they don't know you, they don't know you. So depending on what you're doing, your voice, your face, if you're the business, the brand, if you're the face of your brand, people need to see you. They need to hear you. Even if you can't, are not the person, and they have content writers, right? Nowadays, they have all kinds of things to assist. So it removes the excuses. We make the necessary adjustment, and it's all about us just knowing and just saying, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I really do believe and hope that in this space, in this season, in this year, right? Even today, one of the things that I do say, as I prepare to have you, Val, to give us some of your closing thoughts, because we don't want to hold our CEO because she got to get back to work. It's saying, do something today that your future self will thank you for. And
good advice.
When we do that, we will look up and say, wow, being in the present, I remember that thing that I did, and that's why I can firmly stand on what it is that I do and believe today. So, Val, as we get ready to wrap up this episode of CEO Chat, what would you say to them just to inspire someone, right? You talked about aspiring, right? Motivating and inspiring others in your call and your purpose to as a podcaster. So how could you help somebody as we prepare to end today's episode?
I would love to quote one of my favorite, I like to call her a televangelist, Joyce Meyer. And when you do something, do it afraid, and be confident and write down exactly what you would love to accomplish, like literally write your vision. God will let you know if it's the right move for you. If you have a business and would love to transition into doing podcasting to support your business, the elements will come together and make it plain for yourself. Stay inspired. I listen to other podcasts that inspire me. Make that suggestion for you to listen to other women or men, those that inspire you, and keep going. Do it afraid. Don't be afraid. You have all that you need in yourself to make things happen. Yeah, that's me. That's what
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, we want to thank you and thank our special guest, Val, the Voice Johnson, for coming in and talking to us a little about podcasting. So make sure you are following her on all the social media platforms, because I don't think anybody else is out there called, she's Val, the Voice Johnson. So make sure you be sure to follow her, and you will see us again, for another episode of our CEO Chat. Bye for now.